Hello, everyone. My name is Ashani, and I'm a clinical psychologist at Prosper Health Collective.
And hi, I'm Ebony. I'm one of the speech pathologists here at Prosper Health Collective.
As you may be aware, this month it is Speech Pathology Week, so we thought it would be a great opportunity to speak to one of our speech therapists, Ebony Hans, to understand a bit more about what to expect in a speech therapy session. So, Ebony, I'm going to ask you a few questions so that we can understand a bit more about what type of services you can offer. So, my first question is, what kind of skills do you support families with?
Speech pathologists support quite a broad range of skills, but to sum it up for you, we help with speech clarity, language, reading, writing, feeding, stuttering, and also voice. So quite a broad range.
Certainly sounds like that. And do you provide support with children or with adults as well?
We provide support for children and adults. I primarily see children, but we can support people all through their lifespan.
Wonderful. And my next question then is, what would we typically expect from a first speech therapy session?
The first speech therapy session is more about gathering information and getting to know the client, understanding what's brought you to a speech pathologist, as well as some initial assessment to look at the skills of the client and what difficulties they might have.
Wonderful. And leading on from that then, what can we expect in subsequent therapy sessions or a typical speech therapy session?
Yeah, I'd say each therapy session is quite different. We're building skills in the therapy session, and we generally do that around an activity. So therapy sessions can look a bit silly, very playful. We try and make it enjoyable for our clients, but underneath all that fun, we are working on building particular skills for that client and building their capacity.
Wonderful. That sounds lovely. And will parents generally be involved when you are working with children?
Yes, I highly recommend that parents are involved in the sessions, and the reason for that is speech therapy sessions are only one small part of a child's week or fortnight. And so I like having the parents there involved so they understand what we're working on and they're able to support that back in the home as well.
Wonderful. So that certainly sounds like similar to the approach we take in psychology sessions as well. Yeah. And my next question then is, what could families expect between sessions?
It's different for each family, and it definitely depends on the goals that you're working on with the child. Whether that's perhaps about their reading and writing or more about how they're expressing themselves. What I like to do is generally find activities that work within the family routine so that it's less difficult to do rather than, set study time or worksheet time.
Sure.
I like to find ways that we can continue to build those skills in home life and home activities.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That sounds great. And finally, how would you know that a child or an individual is making progress in speech therapy sessions?
Yeah, and that's a difficult one because sometimes progress can take some time depending on the child and their goals, which is why good goal setting is so important. So it's really important at the beginning of therapy that we set really clear goals about exactly where we want to get to so that we're able to measure the child's progress over time. We might rely a little bit on mum and dad reporting to us how things are going at home and whether they're seeing improvements in how the child's producing sentences or explaining themselves at home. But it really comes down to really good clear goals that we're each session taking data on and measuring over time.
Yeah, so that makes it really helpful in terms of tracking progress when there are those clear goals from the outset of therapy sessions. Then.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. So look, that's certainly been really helpful in further understanding, what your therapy sessions look like. And thank you very much for taking the time to provide us with that information.
Yeah. So if anyone was wanting any more information about speech pathologists or Speech Pathology Week, you could always go to speechpathologyaustralia.com.au, or if you're concerned about your child, you could always reach out to Prosper Health Collective. We're here to help you flourish and thrive. Thanks for having me, Ashani.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.